Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your support in this channel. I don't take it for granted. Yvonne Okwara seems to understand the current head of state, and she's coming up again with a flop up news as things seem to fall apart to William Ruto's administration over Kenyans and Indians loan deal. Without wasting of time, let's take a look and listen to Yvonne Okwara's video at the news gang on whatever she's saying.
What you talk about commercial versus concessionary debt. So concessionary is not only cheaper, but even there's a lot more wiggle room. It is with World Bank, IMF and the others that you could perhaps even start to speak of writing off a debt. With commercial debt, like we've gotten from China, there is no writing off of that debt. That is not in question. The options that are available there are renegotiation. Like you were saying, okay, so can we extend the repayment period? But paying, you must and you will. And that is what I think is interesting for me with this one and where the conversations would start to go, because commercial debt being forgiven is a tall order.
And I think if
Now, that is what Yvonne Okwara have said. Kenyans, it is very simple and clear. And even I'm very much impressed over Yvonne Okwara's remarks, asking if there is any agreement, loan signature, in proving that China have given Kenyan loan. And again, these loans Kenyan's head of state have been taking for several years. We saw Uhuru Kenyatta together with this team. By that time, Ruto was the deputy president. And we saw what happened. Today is the head of state, still proceeding with the same spirit. The other day, I asked you a simple question. Are we not qualified to pay our own loan? To make our own money as Kenyans? It seems that my effort bared no fruit, as Yvonne Okwara now reveals to us why is Ruto after loan. Number one, I'm still repeating, factors which always hinders us on having loan or negative impact of having loan. Number one, loan reduce our dreams and vision as Kenyans, because we'll only be concentrating on paying that loan. I'm talking through experience. The number two, loans drag someone behind, because the expectation of interest might be higher. The more you take, the more they increase more interest. You understand? Then number three, anyone taking a loan should not just take it that people are taking. You must have a conservative or a constructive information or plans what you want to do with the loan in order to gain you more interest to pay the debts. And that is what seems to happen in our country. As leaders just taking loan anyhowly, they don't even understand the role of having a loan. And in fact, they are going to an extent of even stealing the same loan. Someone borrowing 40 billion or even 120 billion. He or she, or not even he, because we've been ruled for several years by male president. And allow me to use he in capital, taking 120 billion or even 60 billion. He is having that space and interest to have 40 out of 60 billion in his pocket. So If Kenya's budget is worth 1 billion, sometimes it goes up to 1 trillion. One person is having 40 billion. Do we expect any development to this our country? The answer is no. It's just going to torment Kenyans. And that is why we never develop to ourselves as a country. Kenyans are struggling, and Kenya is the best country because we don't have lazy workers. Unless a few, that is up to them. I'm not with them. Because some Kenyans are waking up very early in the morning, working, they're being deducted loans on various occasions. NSSF, SHIF, NHIF, whichever the cards they are using. But you find that no one is coming out with a clear perspective, conclusion, that for how long will Kenyans pay the debt? For instance, we are still on 10.2 trillion to be paid. I told you if you are not keen, then we are going to be locked as Kenyans in this country. The son of Sugoi still facing east. He have abandoned west, facing east and borrowing another 40 billion. At the same time, our economy is crippled. It has been thwarted. John Mbadi chest thumping saying 1 year economy will be renovated. And I told him very well that he should not just be happy as the CS. Ruto is the one going to control him, whether he like it or not, because Ruto is glutton in every CS position. He want to control all of them, and he want to be obeyed. Akisema mfanye hivi, watafanya. And that is what have happened. And all these failures which we are now seeing today, Kenya Kwanza regime are the ones who are taking us to this situation, because they have refused to listen to Kenyans. They have refused to listen to advices that are being given in several social media platforms. That when you speak today, the Subaru man comes for you, thinking that they will not die. Death is for all of us. But we must find the better solution to this our country, for millions of Kenyans and for the future generation. That when someone from Nyeri, born today, will be happy seeing that he or she has been born in a better country. But if you want to turn this our country into a banana state, then proceed with the loan. And that is what seems Yvonne Okwara is questioning. And I like that spirit of Yvonne Okwara. And still asking William Ruto administration to avoid all this drama and focus to millions of Kenyans. It's very sad that when our forefathers will one day wake up today, seeing where they left us, then they will be shocked. At this moment, I expect any leader should work with zeal and zest to build our country together, avoid all these dramas. They've even reinforced our police officers, giving them a hard time, even creating illegal-minded that they can only overwork on abducting Kenyans or even tear-gassing Kenyans, arresting Kenyans, rather than concentrating on even fighting for our boundaries and other parts, enhancing security across the country. The fear have gone. And that is what seems to William Ruto to understand. It is not all about finding a strategy and using Raila Odinga as a stepping stone for 2027. Kenyans are clever. The Gen Z you are seeing today, they will one day come and haunt you if you are not keen. The youths you are seeing today, they are very much clever. They know anything in social media. You can't convince them. So avoid taking loan. Taking loan is very unwanting. And have that mentality that John from Ukambani can make his own money. And by doing that, is renovating our economy. Abraham Lincoln once said that government is for the people, with the people, and by the people. Then if the government belongs to the people, then why don't you talk to these people? Ask them, How can we renovate ourselves as the government? But because we are glutton and we forget the background we comes from, after we've been afflicted, reaching to the position where we don't even remind ourselves the past. Indeed, if you want to know a true measure of a man, give him power, Uru once said. Therefore, it is a heavy task for William Ruto's administration to avoid all this exposure and drama and learn for a better future to this our country. Drop your opinion, ladies and gentlemen. I rest my case at that point.